Welcome back as we're continuing in the conversation of self-love, the conversation that true love still exists, the conversation that you do not have to allow somebody to abuse you and kill you, the conversation that you can move on and still find love and continue without being bitter and moving on in life. And we have this problem of, within our community, you find women going to beat up their new partner, they are fighting, how embarrassing, and they're giving themselves police, it's a crime to go and assault someone.
Yes.
Do you really need to? And will that bring back the love?
And can I make you laugh and say, sometimes it's because people don't have the right counsel. I have two types of friends, I always say. So if I go to my friend, for example, Grace, and I say, Grace, I've gone through this. Grace will come with me and she'll cry with me and she'll say, that's not right, that what has happened to you, Thaine. And we will cry and she'll say, you know what? You'll find another person, don't worry about it. Then I've got another friend who I go to, she will say to me, aw, you guys look so good together. And another friend might say, you know what? Oh, so he's cheated on you. Where does that woman live? Let's go and beat her up. So that is not helpful.
Maybe I have a problem with people of late, where even within our Christian communities, they still tell you to stay, whether it's biblical or it's not. I think I'm having issues with pastors of late. Because people then stay in there, they have so much pain, they are fighting to an extent of killing each other.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Can I paint
a
picture?
Is the body of Christ being fair by saying, oh, go back home and, you will change?
When you're a Christian girl, you are encouraged. In fact, should I say encouraged? To marry someone who is, I'm a born-again Christian, so they say don't be unequally yoked. So you are encouraged to marry someone who's got the same Christian beliefs. If possible, I'm a Pentecostal, born-again Christian. Now, imagine you get a pastor who asks you out and asks you to marry you. Can you? So your family, everyone is going, you also. And there's something attractive about a man preaching. It's attractive, very attractive, charismatic. Some of these pastors are very, it's very, very attractive. You are married to this pastor, yeah? And you've become the first lady of the church, yeah? I'm going to walk you through what women go through as well. You're the, and there's the church as well. There's the church, there's people you're taking care of. And men of God are loved by the church. There's pastors, other pastors coming in and all that. So anyway, then he beats you. Who do you go and tell?
Christian or non-Christian, you're a human being, you deserve respect, you deserve life. You don't live for the pastor next door. You need to walk away with your life.
There is the challenge now, Bibi, which is why I wanted to mesh up our traditional and the Christian tradition, the cultures. You go and tell maybe another elder, a woman in the church, and say, this is what has happened to me. Then they will say to you, oh, that's what my husband also does to me. All men are the same. We can't talk about this.
That's why I think we need the new empowered woman, the new conversation. Do you have to live with somebody who gives you a blue eye for the sake of keeping up appearances?
But that's the problem. Our grandmothers, our mothers, our great-grandmothers stayed, Bibi. They stayed in abusive marriages. Some of them did not show us when we were growing up. You only found out when you went back to say, Mom, my husband has beat me up. And then they'll say, oh, that's when you know your dad also does the same.
What motivated you to come up with this initiative?
The help that I got. I myself went through mentoring and counseling and coaching. And I began my healing journey. I began to love myself. My mindset had to change. And when I saw myself on the other side, and when I started helping other people, I realized that actually this is something that is helpful, and I should help people with the way I got the help. So that's how I came up with the initiative.
And that's empowering, because we need people like you. Thank you for doing what you're doing. Because probably at times our culture doesn't take into consideration the feelings of women, the feelings of being hurt and being broken, and remaining in a relationship when you are so broken, when you lose your confidence,
It is so true.
when life, is so negative. Hence all the cheating, and we go back to square one. But what other initiatives are you involved in? I see you're a bit active on Facebook as well.
So I work with various women, I do a lot of this. So I've just started a Facebook group actually for single women who have gone through various traumatic situations. It's a private group, so if people want to know about it, they have to DM me. Of course, you. Or are you allowed to do what? To come in with.
Eavesdrop on the singles group.
So, giving women that platform to talk about their issues. However, the main reason we started this group is about moving forward, helping women who are stuck in emotional pain to move forward.
You've faced a lot of struggles in this journey. Can you tell me a bit more about just your personal tribulations in all this?
Like I said, the fear, I think that is the most difficult one. Fear of being judged. You're coming out to tell your story. It's not a nice story to talk about, that I've gone through all this difficult emotional pain and stuff like, and how it's very, very difficult. And of course,
You have people gossiping.
people will gossip. Oh my God, yes. Some people didn't know about my situation. Like I said, you don't go on top of the mountain and you start saying, hey, I'm divorced, So it's very difficult.
By marriage.
Yeah.
I thought you are defined by being you.
This is why we need to have these conversations, because it's a society kind of thing that has been there. So when you, like, for example, I've lost a couple of friends that we have, because when you divorce, some women, and it's women, then find it difficult for you to come to their homes after you divorce. So that is some of the challenges that I've faced going through this journey.
Despite all this, what inspires you to keep going?
To be honest with you, when I went through what I went through, I knew I couldn't do it by myself. And I also started following women that I found very inspiring, like Inyandla Van Zandt. I started following Oprah Winfrey. I listened to a lot of, especially Inyandla. She's very, very good in terms of helping people move forward. So I would recommend things like that, or even reading positive mindset books. That was very, very helpful. So yeah, I would recommend people actually do that.
What do you think are the steps when you realize something is going on? What are there any signs?
From my experience with women that come to me and talk to me, you find that men that are abusive will start, diminishing you. There's some comments that are quite, you know yourself when someone says something, you're like, what was that? And I think it's important to actually start asking questions. Ask yourself, is this something that makes me happy when someone has said this? Try to have that conversation first, that between the two of you, try to do conflict resolution between the two of you. My love, I did not understand when you said this. And depending on the response you get, response could be whatever. I always give, this is a very good example. There are people, if I step on your foot right now, in fact, okay, if you step on my foot and I say to you, baby, you've just stepped on my foot, that was painful, that was hurtful. You can either say to me, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Or you can say, you call that stepping on your foot, so you were hurt by that. That person is not showing compassion. So that's when you need to start asking questions. And if you feel things are now escalating that you can't resolve with the two of you, I think that is when you then need to find a professional, somebody. Because remember, we spoke about two different types of friends. Sometimes you go to your relatives and they tell you, all men are like that. Maybe professional. Now, like I said, things have escalated. Maybe this is the time now you go for professional help. You come to people like me, the counselors, the people that, who are professional, who can actually give you a bit of more information about what's happening, talk about it. I think this is where we now need to go.
So when these telltale signs have started, how do you think they can build back their love? Probably
counseling. I would say professional counseling, because we are now, I'm a church girl. I love God, and I've got nothing against the church, but
bad things do happen.
That is the thing. That is the thing. I think professional help. Professional help.
Where do you think it stems from? Is it because of our culture, or people?
It could be. It could be our culture. I was talking to a positive therapist, mindset therapist the other day, a friend of mine, and they were saying to me that, there's evidence that when children are born in a domestic violence, especially boys, they might grow up with this anger, and they saw their mother, hurting and being beaten up, and they couldn't do anything about it to protect the mothers, or protect, when they then grow up to become men, they then find themselves with this anger. This is why I was saying initially, when women go to pastors, for example, to say, this is what I'm going through, pastors also need to take a step, actually, as men, to talk to these men to say, why are you angry? Why are you beating up your wife? There could be some background information. In my work with mental health as well, we do what we call timeline. What happened in a person's childhood? Could they be, there would be some root cause to why people behave the way they behave.
Any practical lessons you can conclude by giving the women?
You matter. You matter. You are worthy. One of my friends was telling me the other day, when she does her work as a positive mindset therapist, she said when she speaks to women after they've gone through various traumatic situations, she asks two questions. What is it that you can say about yourself? What qualities do you have? What is so good about you? And the opposite. She asked me that question. I was able to write a lot of things on that, on the side of, what is it that I like about myself? And then when she asked me, what is it that you don't like about yourself? I really struggled to write things that I don't like about myself. And she said to me, Thaine, this is brilliant, because most women find it very difficult to write things they like about themselves. So I would encourage women out there to honestly take care of yourself, self-love, care for yourself. You matter. You are worthy. Stop this dominant negative thought patterns of, maybe this has happened to me because of this. Maybe that's not what it is. So I would encourage women to really take and look for help. Talk to someone you'll get help from. That is very, very important. If the pastor cannot help you, go professional, because most of us are in the churches. So that's what I would say.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us. And Thaine, I think I'm going to give you a rank amongst the... I thought I would give you a colonel's position at this age of having gone through it all and still managing to manage. Yeah. Because out there are generals. We call ourselves generals with, quite decorated wounds. But the idea is being to be able to stand up for yourself, to soldier on. And again, as women, you need to love yourself, because when you love yourself, you have self-respect, and with self-respect, you don't allow somebody to disrespect you. So whether it's in the church, it's within our culture, it's within our community. Let's be aware of those signs, those people who are negative. If anyone is being negative, we've heard from Thaine, those are the telltale signs. And hey, who knows, true love still exists.
It really does. It starts with you.
It starts with you. When you've moved on with yourself,
Yes, it
then you are
starts with
able to move to the next person.
Yes, absolutely.
We look forward to seeing you more on Tea with Bibi and on more shows. And on this note, we just want to say thank you to our Colonel of Life, Thaine, who has been with us today. Thank you for watching Siyabonga Tinotenda.
Thank you for having me.